Hey guys, Zom Fox here, and today we're going to be talking about two things. One, a very huge deal. The USFL and the players are going to be meeting in September to create a actual CBA, collective bargaining agreement, and talking about how the players that went to the NFL have fared, and how well are they doing, and if they made the roster. So the first thing to talk about is the USFL and its players meeting on the CBA. The article I'm going to be referencing is on the USFL News Hub by Mark Perry. So the main thing is that, according to some reports, is that they will be doing a CBA in September. The reps are scheduled to meet with Fox Sports officials to begin negotiating the league's first ever collective bargaining agreement on September 13th through 15th in Atlanta. The docket of issues players want to improve includes housing and compensation. As of right now, the USFL offers a salary of $4,500 a week for all active players. Now, apparently the main thing is the housing situation is that they want to improve, as the USFL player reps hope to come to a resolution to improve the current living situation, which relies on players to pay for their own housing and hotel expenses once training camp ends. Overall, this is a pretty big deal to have them try and figure out. Mainly the thing with the CBA is that the idea is that they need to make it to where free agents who are going to be choosing the XFL or USFL will want to choose the USFL. That's the whole point of this. So they need to actually be able to get money off this, or, give the players more money. So giving them housing and stuff like that is a big thing. So, as of right now, the XFL, backed by Dwayne Johnson, Danny Garcia, and Redbird Capital, may already have stronger leverage to attract free agent talent over the USFL. It's expected to offer slightly better active player salaries than the current USFL rates, with potentially higher payouts for quarterbacks, not including incentives. So, to put it simply, they just need to be able to the USFL for the CBA, if they want it to be a legit success, they need to allow housing to be paid for by teams or something, or just better is what they're wanting, and mainly that they get better actual pay. Because the fact that you did what the XFL didn't, granted the XFL did get struck down by COVID, but you made it through a season, which means that in terms of which league is more reliable, in a sense, the USFL already has that edge over the XFL. If you can make it to where you get paid more than the XFL, you get that boost, and housing, it'll make it to a point where if you're a free agent, the only real reason you pick the XFL is just because you have an extra couple months between the XFL season and the NFL season. But that being said, the guys who are on practice squads or, low-end rosters in the NFL have been doing that the whole year, now have to go to the XFL, so it's kind of the same. Now, as for the second part of this, looking at the players, there were 51 players that actually overall signed to the NFL. This is from CBS 42. This is the Birmingham one. 50 of the 51 USFL players signed to NFL, cut from active rosters. 13 remain in practice squads by Phil Pinarski. So, yes, the only player that is actually, as of now, is still on a roster is KaVontae Turpin. KaVontae Turpin is the reigning USFL MVP, kept a spot on Dallas after those insane return touchdowns he had. And then in terms of the other guys who are still on practice squads, Tay Hayes, DeMarcus Gates, and Victor Bolin Jr. are all on their own respective team. And then 10 other guys, Dom Davis, Gray Scales, Ike Brown, Isaiah Zuber, Maurice Alexander, TJ Carter, Alex Akinbulu, Jeremiah Farms Jr., Carlos Kemp, and Darius Shepard are also still on their respective teams. So, the one thing that is important to note about these is the fact that there was a lot of changes. I mean, at first, Micah Abernathy stayed on the roster, but now he's not even signed. But you got to remember that, especially the beginning of, from this week, there's a lot of cuts and things being made that are made kind of hastily. So we don't know for sure who's going to keep staying and stuff like that. And naturally, just like with the XFL and AAF before them, the bulk of these guys that are going to be getting playing time or on the active roster is during the season, when guys get struck down with injuries or guys just literally play that bad, they got to be gone. I mean, to put it simply, I'm the most surprising to me that did not make the roster wasn't even Mike Abernathy. It was probably just, I would say, to me, would be Isaiah Zuber and DeMarcus Gates. DeMarcus Gates played outstanding during the preseason, and Isaiah Zuber showed that he could be a dual threat kind of guy. I believe he had 2 interceptions during the preseason, and he was literally a wide receiver. So I'm kind of shocked that they didn't make the rosters, but I mean, naturally, some of these guys are definitely going to be up during the season, so we'll see. But overall, that's pretty much it for the news of this week, pretty much. Now, naturally, the CBA should be done in the next couple weeks, and I'll definitely have a video on that. As of now, this has been ZomFox. If you enjoyed this content and want to be notified as soon as I upload any videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And as always, have a great night.